In this part, we'll be discussing about the male cone and the male flower of Neetum. The male flowers, they are arranged in a definite ring. We can make out here. They are arranged in a definite ring above each collar on the nodal region of the axis of the male cone. The number of the rings may vary from 3, it may be 3, it may be 5, it may be 6, it varies. And there is a ring of abortive ovule or imperfect female flowers above the ring here of the male flowers. How exactly these abortive female or abortive ovule or imperfect female flowers are formed, we will be discussing. Now, each male flower consists of two parts. One is perianth and unilocular anthers, as we have discussed here. So, this will be like perianth, two parts. One is perianth, this is outermost covering, and a stalk consisting of two anthers. So, this is what exactly the male flower will be consisting of. A short stalk followed by two unilocular anthers, which usually contains the microsporangium bearing the microspores. At the time of dehiscence, this stalk is going to elongate, and anthers are going to come out of the this sheath, that is perianth. So this is the sum of the description. This pictures explains the same thing. These are the anthers. Male flower, longitudinal section showing the perianth, two lobed anthers here. Anthers, as they are going to mature, they are going to come out of the perianth. So this stalk is going to elongate. You can make out the stalk here. It is so small in size. As they are going to mature, the stalk is going to elongate and it is going to come out of the perianth. This is the dehiscence. During dehiscence, stalk elongates and they are dispersed. Now we will see one by one the different stages of the development of the male flower, and also how these abortive ovules or the imperfect female flowers are formed. We all know that a small scale leaf-like structure called as bract. These bract are going to fuse at their base, and these bract, when they are going to fuse, they are going to form the collars. On the collars, what we are going to see is these male flowers, right? Yes, here. Now, some of the cells below this collar, if you are going to consider this as a collar, some of the cells below this collar are going to be activated, and these activated cells, we are going to call it as a meristematic cells. They are going to divide repeatedly. Here this is going to explain the same thing. They are going to divide repeatedly and form a small hump or outgrowth like structure. So this is a small hump or outgrowth like structure which is going to divide and lead to formation of this stage. From where these cells are arrived, we know that there is a bract. Bract are going to fuse and form what is called as collar. The cells below the collar are going to be activated, and these activated cells we are going to call it as meristematic cells. The role of the meristematic cell is to divide and redivide, and that lead to formation of this hump like structure or outgrowth like structure. Now certain cells on this hump, we have the upper side and the lower side. Upper side of these upper side of the cells of this outgrowth or hump start to differentiate and form what is called as ovule primordium. Primordium term is used for the group of the cells. So the upper part of this hump contains group of cells which are going to differentiate themselves into ovules or the imperfect females, which are sterile in nature. That is what we saw here. Here these abortive ovules, they are nothing but they are not going to produce any kind of flowers. They are completely sterile in nature. How they are originated? By this hump. The upper part of this hump is going to differentiate into ovule initials, which are going to form the sterile part of the upper region, whereas the lower region, the cells of this lower side of the annular outgrowth, they form the primordium. Which primordium? Male flower primordium. Primordium is the group of cells which is going, these group of cells are going to form what is called as male flower. Now this further differentiate leads to structure formation of like this. This is going to form the imperfect female or abortive ovules, and this part is called as male primordium. Further division leads to formation of structure somewhat like this. Now further development of the male flower. We have to concentrate only on this part. This is of not use, it is a sterile portion. This is the male primordium, group of cells which are going to form the male flower. Now these cells are going to divide and redivide, leading to formation of a central mass of cell. I have a flow chart here. So we have a central mass of cell. These central cell, these are the certain cells below the collar. They are going to divide and form a small hump. Small hump or outgrowth like structure, which is going to differentiate into initials. Two types of initial. One initial will be abortive ovules which form the uppermost ring. These are nothing but the imperfect females which are sterile in nature. The other set is going to form the cells of the lower side of this outgrowth, form the male flower or a primordium, group of cells which are going to form the male flower. Further differentiation leads to formation of the central cell by the repeated division. This one, central cell, this. Now this central cell gets surrounded by a sheath. That sheath we are going to call it as a perianth. The outer surface of this central cell divide and they are going to form what is called a sheath. That sheath we are going to call it as perianth. So central mass of the cell. So all cells we have here. This outer layer they are going to divide and redivide, leading to formation of the sheath. That sheath we are going to call it as what? Perianth. Yes. Now we are left with this cell. Cells present in this region. There is a formation of a notch or a depression. Somewhat like this a depression is formed, leading to formation of what? Two lobes, one and two lobes. These two lobes are nothing but the two anthers, which will be containing microsporangium, inside which of the we are having the microspores. Now basal cell of this central portion, lobes are formed. Basal portion of this is going to form what is called as a stalk. That is what we saw here. We have perianth, we have stalk, we have these two anthers. So there is a formation of depression is done. Basal cell of the central mass divide and differentiate to form what is called as stalk. This stalk elongates and pushes the anther lobes towards the outside during the time of maturation. This anther usually consists of microsporangium. Microsporangium usually contain what is called as microspores. Now some of the cells, this is clear, outermost layer is perianth. Now these cell they are going to form a notch or a depression, leading to formation of the two lobes. These two lobes are nothing but the anthers. The base of this inner mass of cell is going to form what is called as a stalk. Now the cells of these lobes, we are going to speak the cells present in these lobes. Now some of the cells in the anther lobes, they are going to divide and they are going to form what is called as archisporial cells. These archisporial cells, they are going to undergo a periclinal division, leading to formation of the two cells, upper parietal cell and lower sporogenous cells. So this is what is called as archisporial. We are speaking of the lobes. Some cells of the lobes, they are going to differentiate and form what is called as archisporial cells. These archisporial cells are going to divide and form the two cells, parietal cells and the sporogenous cells. Now the parietal cells, they will divide. Parietal cells, they are going to divide and produce what is called as epidermis, middle layer and tapetum. So epidermis, middle layer and tapetum of the microspore is formed by the parietal cell. Whereas the sporogenous cell, they are going to divide and form what is called as spore mother cell. This spore mother cell is going to undergo meiosis. For this development, it is going to drag the nutrient from the tapetum and it is going to undergo meiotic division, leading to formation of the microspores. So this is the one. So we have perianth followed by this depression, further steps are not clear here. This is going to form the stalk, these cells, whereas these lobe cells, they are going to differentiate and form what is called as archisporial cell. The archisporial cell is going to divide periclinally, leading to formation of parietal as well as sporogenous cell. This is also not mentioned here. That's the reason I have made that flow chart, which makes the things very easy and clear. Whereas the parietal cell divide and redivide, leading to formation of epidermis, middle layer and tapetum, which is nutritive in nature, tapetum. Whereas the lower cell, that is sporogenous cell, will form the spore mother cells, which undergo meiotic division, leading to formation of microspore, which are usually haploid in nature. So this was a description regarding the development of male flower in case of Nita. Thank you.